Hello, I'm Rob Westervelt, editor of IHS Chemical Week, welcoming you to the 2014 IHS Chemical World Petrochemical Forum. And I'm delighted to be joined by Bill Sanderson, VP Downstream for IHS. Bill, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
First question, sort of a more general question, but what's the top line outlook for energy and crude prices in 2014?
So our outlook for 2014 crude oil prices is between $105 and $110 a barrel for Brent. And it's a combination of factors, as always, driving those prices in the oil markets. We have reasonably strong demand this year for petroleum worldwide. We have a large surge in supplies from North America. The U.S. continues the great revival of U.S. oil production. Canada is bringing on steadily more and more volumes into the market. But we've had a number of supply issues, and I think the market generally concerned about security of supply. Notably, Libyan production is down. We've had the sanctions in Iran taking over 1 million barrels a day out of the market, and production problems in several other places, Syria included. So really on balance, we've had fairly strong prices given the surge in production that we see from both the U.S., Canada, Brazil, and in the future in the Caspian region.
And what's the outlook for feedstocks over the near to midterm? Will ethane, coal remain at its relative advantage to crude over the near term?
Yeah, so the petrochemical industry processes a very wide variety of feedstocks, and we want to look at where the advantaged feedstocks are given how strong oil prices are. Those advantaged feedstocks are in the U.S. market because of shale gas production and the amount of supply that's available. Natural gas-based feedstocks, ethane included, is very advantaged. Obviously, natural gas and the C1 chemistry has good cost advantages in the U.S. LPG is favorably priced because of the surplus of production. And as oil production has increased and coal production has increased, we've seen a gradual decline in global coal prices. So in areas like China where there's a lot of activity of converting coal into downstream chemicals, coal prices are also advantaged relative to petroleum products.
And what about specifically the outlook for ethane? How long will ethane rejection occur in the U.S., and how advantaged will it be relative to those other chemical feedstocks?
Well, if you look at ethane, ethane is extracted from natural gas. The only end use for ethane of any commercial volumes is an ethylene plant feedstock. And so we've had a large surge in natural gas production. So we have plenty of ethane, plenty of natural gas, and we've yet to really start adding significant amounts of ethane cracking capacity. Therefore, demand has been low relative to the supply we have. And so we see that continuing on till about the end of this decade. The latter few years of this decade, we think ethane prices will start to spread away a little bit from its alternative natural gas value. And then, more real price increases will take place in the early years of the next decade. That is really all depends on, the rate at which new plant capacity and new ethane demand comes on stream. But from what we see today, there's plenty of ethane to supply the projects that we think are likely to be built without a huge price swing on ethane.
What's the outlook for LPG exports, for feedstock for use in international markets?
Well, the U.S. has continued over the last 4 or 5 years to become an exporter of LPG and for those export volumes to increase. So today, the U.S. is exporting reasonable amounts. That will continue to grow as tight oil production continues to grow. LPG is a byproduct, so in North America, we're producing a lot of light crude oil. We are continuing to increase natural gas production. Both produce LPG. Refining operations are at reasonably strong rates as we're exporting some products. So all of those factors are increasing the supplies of LPG, and as infrastructure is being built, our exports are increasing. And so we're exporting significant supplies to Latin America. We're starting to export to Europe. And we have now contractual and constant exports of LPG from the U.S. to Asia. And You know, as we see the numbers in the, say, the middle or earlier middle part of the next decade, we believe the U.S. will be among the large global exporters of LPG.
Bill, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Rob, very much.
Thank you.